All right, everybody, it's our last video for the week. So today we are going to check Thursday's daily math. Number 1, you had to solve and then shade in to represent. You had a mixed number, 1 whole and 2/5 plus 1 whole and 1/5. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just join my whole numbers. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Now I'm going to join my fraction part. 2/5 plus 1/5 is 3/5. So I'm showing 2 wholes and 3/5. So now I'm just going to shade in what I did. So 1 whole plus 2/5, and then I'm going to go ahead and shade in this other whole down here, 1 whole, and then 1 more 5th. So kind of looks a little wonky, but you see I have 1 whole, 2 wholes, and 1, 2, 3/5. All right, number 2, you had to draw and label parallel lines. Remember, parallel, the word itself kind of gives you a clue what those types of lines look like because you have a pair of parallel lines in the word. The L's are parallel. Parallel lines are lines that never intersect. They never cross. They run beside each other. So you should have drawn 2 lines. Show that they're lines by drawing your arrows on the end to show that they continue infinitely in 2 directions. And then to label them, you just have to draw points and name. So I'm going to name that one line AB, and this is going to be line CD, and we're going to say that line AB is parallel to line CD. All right, number 3, identify the shape. Now, yes, it's a triangle, but remember, we have to name all the parts of the triangle. So triangles have 3 names. The first name names the sides, the second name names the angles, and then their last name is triangle. So first we're going to look at the sides. There's 3 choices. Isosceles means that 2 of the sides are the same. Equilateral means that all of the sides are the same. And scalene means that none of the sides are the same. If we're looking at this triangle, it may be helpful for you to turn your page. And when you turn your page, look here. These 2 sides are the same length. So this is, let me get my paper squared. This is an isosceles triangle because it has 2 sides that are the same. So now we're going to look at the angles. If it has 1 right angle in it, then we call it a right triangle. If it has 1 obtuse angle in it, we call it an obtuse triangle. But if all 3 angles are acute, we say that it's an acute triangle. So if we look at this angle from here to here, that's an acute angle. Here's another acute angle. And this is an acute angle. We have 3 acute angles, so that means this is an isosceles acute triangle. Hopefully you got that one right. All right, number 4. The pet store has 6 fish tanks. Each tank has 7 goldfish and 5 tetras. What is the total number of fish, F, in the tanks? All right, so we always want to go back and underline the things that we know. So what do we know? We have 6 fish tanks. We know that each tank is full of 7 goldfish and 5 tetras. What are we trying to find? What are we solving for? Our variable is F, which is the number of fish that are in the tanks. So first off, if I look at my equation, I see parentheses and a plus sign. So there's 2 amounts that I need to join together. That's kind of like the hidden question. So what's the hidden question? Well, how many fish are there in each tank? We have 7 goldfish and 5 tetras. So the first thing we want to do is join the 7 plus the 5. Now we're going to multiply that number times how many fish tanks there are, 6. Okay, so now we just simplify this equation. We start by parentheses. Think order of operations. Your parents probably know it as PEMDAS. We sometimes, when we were your age, we would say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I'm just going to write it out just like PEMDAS. DAS. All right, so P stands for parentheses. Do we have parentheses? Absolutely. We're going to do whatever's inside parentheses first. So 7 plus 5 is 12. E stands for exponents. Not this year, guys, next year in 5th grade. Then we go to multiplication. Do we have anything requiring us to multiply? Absolutely. We're going to take 12 and we're going to multiply it by 6. Once we solve 12 times 6, we get 72. We don't need to worry about the rest of the letters. There are 72 fish in the tanks. All right, the very, very last thing that we are going to do is our multiplication problem. We have a whole number. Oops, sorry, y'all couldn't see it. We have our whole number 10, and we're going to multiply it by the fraction, the unit fraction, 1/6. Now, we know that this is a unit fraction because the numerator is a 1. Anytime just one part has been named, we call this fraction a unit fraction. So this means 10 groups of 1/6. So 10, you just multiply the whole number times your numerator. 10 times 1 is 10. Keep your denominator the same. So we have 10/6. I'm going to shade it in. So if I shade in all of those, that is 6/6, which makes a whole. And I keep going. So 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, remember, this is an improper fraction, so I want to change it to a mixed number because people don't really say 10/6. They would say, I have 1 and 4/6. But wait, there's more. We can always go a little lower. 4/6 can be simplified even further. So what's a factor that 4 and 6 both have in common with each other? 2. So we're going to divide 4/6 by 2/2, and we get 1 and 2/3. All right, guys, there's my signature smiley face. I hope you've had a wonderful week. Hope you did well on your daily math. If this goes well, maybe next week I'll actually post an actual video of my face. So y'all have a great weekend. Love you.